All of this reeks of utterly unbearable absurdity and madness. But, when all this started, probably the Kremlin, well, it turned on fascism. It's not hard to do. But as for turning it off, they didn't know how. You can't turn fascism off. There just isn't a turn off fascism button. Putin believed that controlled fascism would be his tool for fine-tuning, for subtly suppressing any anti-war sentiment. But Putin himself ended up becoming an obedient tool of fascism. The thing is, fascism is a much bigger problem than people tend to think. And by getting hung up on formal symbolism, people think that by banning all sorts of nasty swastikas and disgusting Mein Kampfs, they've defeated fascism. Not even close. Not at all. Right before our eyes, fascism has changed out of its SS uniform and put on a kokoshnik and a kosovorodka. And it changes its appearance with incredible ease. It is reborn throughout history in the most bizarre and unexpected forms. The Shent, the Pshent, and the Pharaoh's Usek, which are parts of the Pharaoh's attire, the Pshent and Usek he swaps for a royal mantle, a papal tiara, an inquisitor's hood, or Lenin's cap. And the swastika is easily replaced by the letter ZU, as we know. That is, fascism has a remarkable ability to adapt to the conditions and symbols of the era. It doesn't become any less vile because of this. So there are ways to relatively neutralize it, yes. But as we can see in Russia, it very easily takes hold of the masses. Yeah. And it robs millions of their sanity. Its main strength lies in how comfortable it is for the mob. Or rather, that's one of its main strengths. There are other factors as well. Well, now we can only regret that the study of fascism, which after all can only be effectively fought by thoroughly studying, dissecting, and ruthlessly exposing it, has been reduced to endlessly chewing over the fool Hitler and the long-defunct Reich. Hitler and the Reich are just the old long-shed skin of fascism. Meanwhile, fascism itself is already snickering in a new guise somewhere else, washing itself in blood there. Well, if you're interested, check out my Telegram channel. I'm a passionate person and I genuinely want to find something reasonable and decent in Russia. But simply knowing how many people in Russia are watching me, and unfortunately, just take a look. There are prime examples there of that very mush that has filled the skulls of 80% of Russians. And schizophrenia, of course, is left enviously smoking on the sidelines because it can never, ever get its patients to produce such vivid delusions. Nevertheless, this particular group, look, there's a lady with a blue umbrella, just an ordinary Russian woman. And having this particular set of views about the war today is the only guarantee you won't end up in prison or a psychiatric hospital in Russia. And let's note that all this filth in the minds of the Russian people isn't just sloshing around or bubbling. It's in a state of ecstatic boiling. And excuse me, there's nowhere to drain it. And there's yet another version of the porridge of Russian fascism in their heads. There's a rather well-known Z-Patriot war correspondent, a rabid patriot, but you really have to listen to him. He's impossible to paraphrase. But I can say that judging by the intensity, this Z-Patriot war correspondent is just a step away from an epiphany. This realization won't be complete or clear with an understanding of causes and consequences, but he'll still very soon recognize the senselessness and criminality of the war. And it's obvious. He's already come right up to that line because reality, the obvious truth, is pounding his brain with its fists. He won't be able to hold on to his illusions about this so-called homeland for much longer. He'll realize that he's only defending this homeland from the hallucinations of the Kremlin's Führer. Of course, that moment won't be easy, but he won't switch sides, becoming an enemy of the people or a foreign agent. I think he'll just run off somewhere remote and hide under a stump to weep forever. and mushroom pickers will come. Mushroom pickers will cut off the honey mushrooms and fly agarics that have grown on him. Yeah, but that's something you'd have to see.